Pulse Talk, bringing insights into health and wellness with your hosts, Christine and Alex.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're zeroing in on a really unique collaboration. It's called the Silver Line, and it's a project between Skechers and Alpro physiotherapists. Our mission here is to dissect how this design tackles the critical issue of elder mobility.
And fall prevention, which is so huge.
Exactly.
And this isn't just a public health issue. I mean, for so many families, it's a major, major concern. The impact of a fall goes way beyond the physical. It introduces this silent fear.
The silent fear, that's a good way to put it. It just shrinks an elder's world.
It does. But what the sources show is that safety doesn't have to look, purely clinical. This is about dignity. It's about independence.
And when we started digging into the research for this, one thing really stood out, just the simple power of footwear.
Oh, absolutely. What's fascinating is how the right shoe stops being just a shoe and becomes a genuine preventative tool. The data is clear.
What does it say?
Footwear that's specifically engineered for things like grip and support can reduce the risk of falls in older adults by over a third.
Over a third? Wow.
Yeah. So we're going to explore how they managed to engineer that safety margin into an everyday item.
Okay, so let's unpack their approach. They call it engineered steps, which is all about turning features into actual peace of mind.
Right.
The first one that really speaks to independence is the hands-free slip-ins tech.
And it's so easy to just dismiss that as, a convenience feature.
Sure.
But for an older adult, it's revolutionary. It means no bending, no struggling, no needing help. That's often when those little momentary imbalances happen.
Right, and it must tackle the psychological side, too, not having to ask for help every time you leave the house.
That's it. It preserves autonomy.
Okay, so speaking of the engineering, let's look at the structure. They talk a lot about the arched-it support system, but when we hear podiatrist-certified, how is that different from just, a really thick, rigid sole? Because too much stiffness can be just as bad, right?
That is the core question. You've hit on it. An effective system has to preserve the foot's natural alignment. And as we age, feet tend to flatten out.
They lose that padding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So podiatrist certified here means the design is looking at the whole gait cycle and how pressure is distributed. It cradles the heel and arch without locking it in place. It's dynamic support, not static.
Got it. And since so many falls happen from just, common household hazards, they focused on traction with an anti-slip rubber outsole.
And they engineered it for real life. We're not talking about a perfect lab floor. We're talking about that transition from a polished hallway to a rug.
Or a wet kitchen tile.
Precisely. The physios were key here. They analyzed where and how slips actually happen, which led to an outsole pattern that maximizes surface contact. It's designed to counteract those everyday trip hazards.
Which brings us right to the clinical purpose. The Alpro physiotherapists weren't just stamping a logo on a box.
Not at all. They were focusing on the foundations of movement, stability, posture, the ability to move independently for longer.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they recognize that, we can preach about exercise, but if the tool you use for every single step your shoe is working against you, you're fighting an uphill battle. For the elderly, the right daily shoe is, it's one of the simplest forms of preventative care.
And here's where the deep dive connects back to something bigger. Back to culture. In many Asian societies, you have the concept of zaoshan.
Filial piety.
Right. The deep respect and obligation of care for elders.
And that concept translates care into active responsibility. So when you look at the intent behind the silver line, it frames the shoe not just as a product you buy,
but as an act of protection.
Exactly. It's an expression of zaoshan. You're ensuring comfort, safety, and independence for a loved one. It's a tangible demonstration of that respect.
That's a powerful way to frame it. The whole message is that aging with dignity is possible and that care is active in every single step.
So, whether you're looking for more stability for yourself or, looking for a way to really show your care for a parent or grandparent, just consider the impact of giving that gift, the gift of comfort, stability, and really peace of mind. It's something that honors every step they're going to take.
Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.